Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. Today we are on our second day of journeying through Jonah. Okay? We're going to be reading chapter 1, verse 2 today. All right? It says this: Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. That verse right there says a whole lot. Now, to understand that verse, this is go to the great city of Nineveh. You need to know about Nineveh. Okay, Nineveh wasn't just a town of like, oh, to go down to Arcadia and preach over in Arcadia. Everything will be fine and dandy. Oh no, not like that at all. Okay, Nineveh was the capital of Assyria. Okay, Assyria was the powerhouse country at that time that was ruling everything else. Okay. That area in Nineveh, inside the city, the walls were 8 miles long. So you had walls 8 miles around the inner city. Okay, there's the inner city area, but then there's the outer area too. That's part of Nineveh. Okay, so you had the walls were 8 miles long and wide enough for 3 chariots to run side by side on top of the wall. And so that's a huge wall, and it's a wide wall. Okay, and it goes around the whole city, which is 8 miles around. Okay, but the rest of the city district occupied an area of a circumference of about 60 miles. Okay, so it would take you about 3 days to walk across the city. Okay, so you're walking 15-20 miles a day. It would take you that long to go across the city. And so in the book of Jonah, he talks about that. So Nineveh was located on the east bank of the Tigris River, downstream from the Kurdish mountains in modern-day Mosul, Iraq. Okay? And Nineveh, it had 2 major trade routes going through it, so that's why it was such a dominant force at that time. So the population, the Lord speaks of that great city. In verse 2, it says, that great city, Nineveh, in which there are more than 120,000 persons who do not know their right hand from their left. If we go all the way to the end of the book of Jonah, towards chapter 4, verses 11, I believe. At that point, he says there's 120,000 people that don't know their right hand from their left hand. Okay? So most people would interpret that you have children that when you're born, you don't know your left hand from your right hand up until a certain age. Then you're like, oh yeah, I know, this is my left and this is my right. Okay. So you'd have young children that are that young that don't know their right hand from their left hand. 120,000. Okay. So if you take that and then multiply out times, you got your parents and stuff, that'd be about 600,000 people in the city of Nineveh. Okay. So that's a big city. And that's a lot of people there. Now, let's talk about Nineveh. Were they immoral people? Not at all. They were just a wicked, wicked people. Okay? They basically instituted a Sharia law in association with the various idols. They weren't worshiping Jehovah God. They were worshiping their idols. And then whole towns, when Assyria would come in and attack those towns, there would be whole towns, they would just commit suicide because they did not want to be captured by Assyria and Nineveh because they would be treated so badly. So, for example, when they were if Nineveh and Assyria captured a town, okay, what they would do is they would come in and put fish hooks inside each person's mouth, and then hook them all together and drag them along. So naturally, if you fall or whatever, you get a big gash in your mouth and stuff. Just a very cruel people. And Nineveh was a place that was just hated by the Jewish people. They hated this place and wanted nothing to do with it. So if someone said, oh, go tell the people of Nineveh about God, they'd be like, oh, please, no, thank you. I need to go the other way. And that's just what Jonah did. He went completely the other way, and he ran as far away as he could to the then known furthest part of the world, in Spain. Okay? So Today, it would be like if God called me and he said, I want you to be a missionary and just go and preach about Jesus and tell the people that they're a bunch of sinners and need to repent. That's all you need to do, is just go tell them you're sinners and the city's going to be destroyed. Imagine God calling me down to Mosul, Iraq. You'd be like, oh, wait. I mean, that's a place everyone wants to stay away from. You want to stay away from that even if you're not a Christian, if you're just a Western person, if you're an American person. You want to stay away from that place. But you got a bullseye right on your head if you're a Christian going to Mosul, Iraq. Okay? And that's what God had told Jonah to do. He said, go down to Nineveh and tell those people about Jesus. All right? Amazing. So, in order for us to understand what God had called Jonah to do, we need to understand Nineveh. And he says, in that verse 2, he says, go to Nineveh and preach against it because its wickedness has come up before me. God had saw their wickedness and he wanted to give them a chance to repent. You know what? And we find out in the book of Jonah here, they did repent, okay? They did, backslide later, and then that Nineveh was destroyed. But they did, when Jonah came to them, they did repent. And it's an amazing story with that. So, in order to understand the book of Jonah and why he did what he did, you need to understand Nineveh. And so that's what we talked about today, Nineveh, understanding Nineveh. In the same way, you need to understand the non-Christians around you also. You don't live as a non-Christian, but you need to understand them to fully understand God's love for those people. All right? Thank you for watching, and I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I will see you tomorrow as we continue journeying through Jonah. We'll see you then. Blessings.